Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Mischke, the principal here at Buffalo High School, and I'm reaching out to you today to give you the updates regarding our learning models here at BHS as we take the next step closer to having all of our students back here at school. Now, on February 1st, we had the choice to make on whether we would move back into our fall hybrid schedule or to expand on our current learning model here at BHS. And what we chose to do was to expand on the current learning model that we have here at BHS. And now today, what I want to do is walk you through how we ended up with that decision and share with you important information moving forward. Now, in order to do that, I felt like we needed to take a step back to where it all began on March 13th, 2020, and to share with you some important information as we move forward to graduation day, June 10th, 2021. Now, where were we? Spring of 2020. What happened? March 13th came. I'm going to hide my picture here quick. March 13th came. COVID pandemic hit. Minnesota schools were closed for on-site learning as we know it. BHS abruptly ends term 3. The stay-at-home order comes into effect. In term 4, we moved into a learning model that involved a outline of time from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We moved to a pass no credit grading option. Zoom and Google Meets became the norm. Bus routes, instead of delivering kids to school, started to deliver food and class materials to homes. And we worked like crazy to get electronic devices distributed to everybody that was in need. And now as we moved into this fall, we worked to try to create the best learning model we could. Our 9th graders came in on September 10th for on-site learning, and then on September 14th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders joined them. And as you look at the schedule, this is what we attempted to do this fall. A 4-block schedule on Monday through Thursday, alternating A groups and B groups, and then moving into a virtual learning day on Fridays. Some additional information regarding what happened. We asked our teachers to teach in 3 learning models at once, to teach the students in their classroom, the students that were hybrid students that were at home, and our distance learners all at the same time. We found that the connections that we were hopeful to see in school were limited, and our distance learning numbers went from 360 students on the first day of school to 550 by the end of term 1. Logistics here at school: masks, social distancing, and cleaning requirements. Classrooms were limited to a maximum of 17 students and 1 teacher. We had 6-foot distancing in our lunchroom. And in the end, our inability to staff our buildings actually led us to distance learning 2.0. And that brings us into what I would describe as our present, November 30th through January 28th, which is this current learning model right here, which separates the direct instruction in the mornings. I'll just click here quick on the information. Separates our direct instruction in the morning to be strictly virtual, and then moved our intervention time into the afternoons for both virtual interventions and also in-person interventions. Now, many of you may not know, but although we're officially in distance learning 2.0, we really have been bringing students back into our building since the start on November 30th. We adopted the mindset of looking at our triangle of intervention, as you can see here on the right, and bringing in our students that were most in need of academic support. And we found a way to bring them in safely. We actually took our office staff here at BHS and we turned them into interventionists. And we assigned small groups of students to each of them to work with them in filling those gaps that existed in our students and to helping them to see success. And as we talked about, we've done our distance learning model where our direct instruction in the morning and our in-person interventions in the afternoon. And we are seeing success. On December 14th, we had roughly 88 students come into our building. And we've expanded on that model to where on January 11th through the 14th that week, we had over 322 different students step into our building in the afternoon to get the supports that they need. And we averaged a daily average of roughly 120 different students every single day. And as we reached out to students and to parents and to our staff and asked them for feedback on our learning model, we got information that shared with us that we were seeing some success. and we were able to close some of the academic gaps that have come from the challenges that exist and where we're at. Now, as we move forward, this is how we landed. This information that I just shared with you is how we landed on what we're doing moving forward, which will be to expand on our current model to include more opportunities in the afternoon for more students. So we'll continue to, here I'm going to click on this information moving forward. We'll continue to have our direct instruction in the morning virtually. So students will still have that consistency of one learning style or one direct instruction style in the morning at 9, 10, 11, and 12. And teachers will be able to have that opportunity to deliver instruction in one model as well. And then we'll expand in our afternoons, as you can see, to what we call our base time, BHS and academic support and enrichment. And we'll have 3 half-hour sessions in the afternoon, similar to what we currently have, and providing options for more students to come in to get their needs met and to connect with their teachers and to start that process of transitioning back into school. We'll still be in a hybrid model, as you can see here on the right, regarding alphabet. Our students' last name's AK on Monday, Wednesday, LZ on Tuesday, Thursday. All of our teachers will be on site daily, available for afternoon interventions throughout the week. And then Fridays will be distance learning for all. Now, one of the reasons we stayed in our current model, along with the information I've shared with you, is we're trying to limit change. We've changed so much since March 13th in so many different learning models. We felt consistency for our students, for our staff, and our community was very important as well. And as we saw success in this model, we felt we should stay in this model until we make one more change to our all in-person model in March. And the other part that we would highlight is learners are different, K5, 6-8, and 9-12. And trying to meet the needs of our students here, 9-12, we felt was best done through this current learning model. Now, some important dates as we move forward, as I've referenced. February 15th, no school. 16th is a transition day for students and staff here at BHS, where we are going to be able to bring more furniture back into our building, get our classrooms prepared for the welcoming back of our 9th graders, as you can see here on February 17th. And we are only able to roll in 3 grade levels at once. As you remember, back in the beginning of the year, we started our school year with 9th graders and then brought 10, 11, 12 back in later. Same thing holds true here for our term 3. We felt like we needed to target our 9th graders first and get them back into the building and to see how that goes and to get them ready, and then bring our 10th, 11th, and 12th graders back in on March 1st. Now, as you can see, February 26th, the last date here on the calendar, would be a second transitional day to get ready for our 10th, 11th, and 12th graders to come back in on March 1st. Now, all of this information is pending approval at a county level and at a state level from our regional support teams. But we want to share with you as much information as we have regarding next steps. Now, what does it look like on March 1st? What does that schedule look like moving forward? As you can see, March 1st until graduation day on June 10th. We'll move back into a 4-block schedule that will still have advisory, still have base time, and have an extended Wednesday, similar to what we had at the beginning of last school year. I'm going to take you here briefly. Let me just pop. Okay, there we go. Just some of the details regarding what that schedule will look like. As I alluded to, we'll still have base time and advisory, the opportunity to connect with students in person. Instruction, distance learning students will be welcome back if they choose to do so. Logistics, we'll still have masking, distancing, and cleaning expectations. Attendance hotlines will be key so that we know how students are doing if they are ill. Families and sharing that information with us. We'll rely heavily on our families, as we did in the fall, to report COVID-related illnesses and symptoms. But this will be the schedule that we'll be looking at for March 1st through June 10th, our 4-block day with advisory and base time. Now, take a second here and move forward. Some additional information regarding the end of term 2 and the beginning of term 3 regarding textbooks and materials. The key is to pay attention over this last week in terms of anything that you need to turn in or anything you need to pick up regarding materials and textbooks. Our office will be open from 8:30 to 3:30 every day, including extended hours on Wednesday of this week and on Saturday of this week, so that students and families can pick up and drop off any materials they need to. What I would say is the key is to connect with your teachers on what needs to get turned in or what needs to get picked up as you move into your next classes. So more information will come throughout this week regarding what that looks like for each of you. Now, in the end, the quote here, I feel, captures what we've been talking about throughout this whole presentation and throughout this whole school year. The idea of change and what that looks like is really the only constant. We are hopeful that we can take these next steps moving into March 1st and try to limit that amount of change moving forward. And now, as I close and finish out our PowerPoint, hopefully the information I shared with you today gives you a little better understanding of what we are going to be moving forward into in the month of February and how we got there. And in the end, what I would tell all of you, to our students watching the video and to our parents as well, please reach out if you have questions. If you are in need of additional support or you're struggling right now in our current learning model and you haven't had the opportunity to reach out yet, please do so. If you are seeing success, it's great to hear. We have learned a lot over this last school year. We've learned a lot. And we will continue to take the information that we've learned and apply it to our learning moving forward. As again, I started in the beginning and I'll end with this, as we continue to work towards bringing our students back here safely into Buffalo High School so that we can all come back together and end this school year strong.